Back on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network, a big spot for Cade Hunter, the lefty from Virginia Tech. Runners on the corners with 2 outs in the top of the 4th inning, and no coincidence that Tom Holliday goes to the southpaw. Cy Nielsen from BYU on to face Hunter. He chops it foul off of his rear end on the first pitch fastball. Now Nielsen, a rising junior for BYU. A 9.48 ERA this year, a 1-2 record, and the second time he's faced YD. In fact, his last appearance was against the Red Sox. The 0-1 to Hunter, taken off the plate for ball 1. Nielsen, in an 8-4 win for Chatham, went 2 2/3, gave up 3 runs, all earned, 3 hits, and 1 walk. 3 strikeouts. And Cade Hunter has just 4 hits on the year. 1 of them came against Chatham, though, the last time he was playing at Veterans Field. The count is even at 1-1. Zach Liu on first after he was hit by a pitch from Victor Medeiros, a curveball off the skull. And Chase Luttrell on third. Hunter watches the breaking ball on the inside corner, 1-2. "6'3", 210 pounds, the lefty from Spanish Fork, Utah. Comes set at the belt, working from the stretch, and Zach Liu goes for second. He's picked off. Chase Luttrell now trying to slide into third. The throw comes from the shortstop, and Luttrell is safe. Danny Sereni tried to get Luttrell cheating off of third, and Zach Liu was just a decoy. Now he's going for third and dives in, but he's out. Dominic Temez was trying to argue with the home plate umpire, Mikey Garcia, and the catcher saw Liu out of the corner of his eye, dancing off of second, trying to steal third, but got him as Kenny Lavari, the third baseman, was clapping his hands, trying to say, hey, Liu is trying to go. But it turns out Zach Liu, coming off of first base, was a decoy for Chase Luttrell to slide in as the second and tying run in the top of the 4th inning, and Liu is also the third out of the frame. We're tied at 2 apiece in the middle of the 4th, right here on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Back here on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network, bottom of the 4th inning. Brian Klein with you for a tie ball game, 2 apiece between Chatham and YD, and Zach Jacobs working again. The starter is clocked on the first pitch fastball, deep left center field. Chasing back is Briley Knight, the center fielder, calling off Smith from left, and he makes the catch for the first out.
The designated hitter from Vanderbilt.
So Garrett Martin puts a good swing on the first pitch from Zach Jacobs, who is now retired 5 straight anglers. The first time that Jacobs has retired 5 straight batters this year. And Jacobs gets to face Maxwell Romero Jr., the lefty, a junior who was once playing at Vandy, now in the portal. And largely because of Dominic Keegan for the Red Sox. Romero Jr. concerned that he might not get his catcher's reps, with Keegan taking on the reins, and grounded over to second. Should be an easy play for Hoffman. Double pump throw over to Huff at first in time for the second out. So 2 away quickly for Zach Jacobs after 3 pitches in this inning. And David Mendham, the junior from South Carolina, swinging from the left side with a chance to resuscitate this inning for the Anglers. Mendham struck out swinging his first time up. One of 4 victims for Jacobs, ties his season high. Grounded slowly over to second. Identical play for Wyatt Hoffman. On to first in time, side retired. Zach Jacobs, in the blink of an eye, retires 3 straight anglers. And it took him just 4 pitches to do so. And at the end of 4, we're tied at 2 apiece right here on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Back here on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network in the top of the 5th inning, tied at 2 apiece between the Red Sox and the Anglers. And Cy Nielsen, the lefty from BYU, comes on in relief. He threw 4 pitches in the last frame, but didn't record a single out himself. That was okay, though. Didn't actually face a batter in the scorebooks either. He was against Cade Hunter, delivers a first pitch fastball at the belt for strike 1. But ended up picking off Zach Liu for the final out. Victor Medeiros got the first 2 and as a part of his start. No balls, 2 strikes quickly to an observing Cade Hunter, the lefty from Virginia Tech. And Hunter watches the fastball low. Temez, the catcher, tried to steal a strike to no avail. So Hunter was just watching after 4 pitches. Zach Liu on first danced off the bag, was purposefully picked off, and Chase Luttrell at third came around to score. A lot of English on that ground ball. Over to Lavari at third. He rifles across the diamond in time for the first down.
The center fielder,
Cade Hunter runs very well. Says he models his game off of JT Realmuto, and a part of that is because of the fact that he's a speedy catcher, and they're rare around these parts. Top of the 5th inning, 1 out. Tied at 2 apiece for Briley Knight. And Knight swings way in front of the changeup, has to readjust his helmet after a big swing. No balls, 1 strike. To Knight, who walked his first time up, was stranded on second base though. And the changeup gets away from Temez, low and away for ball 1. YD as a team hitting sub-Mendoza against the Southpaws, 199. And Knight watches the breaking ball way in the dirt for ball 2. They're hitting 238 against righties though. And they do have some left-handed hitters. Cade Hunter hitting lefty, Chase Luttrell hitting lefty, but the bulk of their lineup, no surprise, comes from the right side as Knight watches the fastball down the middle, count even at 2-2. And a lot of that just comes from feel and seeing right-handed pitchers more often. Knight pokes the fastball, was supposed to be low, instead it's chopped up the middle, and the second baseman, Matt Garcia, makes the play ranging to his right for the second out.
Hoffman.
So 2 ground outs for the first 2 outs, and Wyatt Hoffman, the second baseman, hitting leadoff for the Red Sox. Still looking to extend his 6-game hit streak, a fly out and a pop out in his first 2 at-bats. First time he's seeing the lefty though. thinks better of the fastball that goes outside, or does he? Checked his swing and went around, according to Rich Gattini. At first base, 1 ball and no strikes to Wyatt Hoffman, tied at 2 apiece. He fouls it off of Temez's left leg, and he flips his mask and belly flops down to the ground. He looks like he's in some pain. Dominic Temez announced he's transferring to Alabama, coming from McLennan College, a community college in Texas, and now being tended to by Tom Holliday, the manager for Chatham. And Wyatt Hoffman just waiting for his turn in an 0-2 count. You'd have to think that if Temez foul ball on the and crouching down to the ground, he's left vulnerable. Stay in the game. 2 outs in the top of the 5th inning, tied at 2 apiece. Now YD knows injuries to the catchers all too well. Nate Baez out for the year with a right thumb injury. Guy who'd been splitting time behind the plate and at first base, DHing some as well, and Dominic Temez just starting to come into his own too. Wyatt Hoffman grounds it sharply over to third, and on to first. Kenny Lavari's throw is in time, side retired. YD is sent down in order in the middle of the 5th, tied at 2 apiece right here on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Back on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network, bottom of the 5th inning, and Zach Jacobs still on the mound. The first time we're able to say that in the CCBL season. The righty from UC Riverside delivers a first pitch fastball outside to the lefty Kenny Lavari for ball 1. New defense behind Jacobs, though. Zach Lou, the shortstop, is out of the game. Wyatt Hoffman moves over to the 6 hole, and the breaking ball is taken for strike 1, 1-1. He moves over from second to short, and Crew Robinson is now in to play second base. Breaking ball slapped over to Wyatt Hoffman. Tough play for him. Tested early, ranging to his left, and rifles across the diamond in time for the first out. His first appearance at shortstop in the CCBL. He played some at Pacific, tested early, and he impresses early behind Zach Jacobs, who's now retired 8 consecutive Chatham Anglers. Going into this game, he had only retired 4 as his watermark, 4 in a row against opposing hitters. 1 out, no one on for Danny Soretti, the switch-hitting shortstop. And fouls it back to the screen on a bunt attempt on the first pitch breaking ball. Soretti on a 5-game hit streak, walked on 4 pitches his first time up in the second. The junior from UNC, and watches the breaking ball inside and low. Had to dance revolution his feet there to get out of the way and keep the at-bat alive. So the count even now at 1-1, with Zach Jacobs working from the windup and steps off as the home plate umpire Mikey Garcia sticks up his right hand. 2 balls and 1 strike to Danny Soretti now. Well, Zach Jacobs, you wouldn't know it by looking at him and the way he's pitched so far, but he had strep just 2 days ago. Grounded over to second, chopped over to Crew Robinson, and on to first in time for the second out.
Now batting for Chatham, the catcher from McLennan Community College.
And Jacobs
Number
working
41,
extremely
Dominic
efficiently,
Temez.
especially recently, coming up on his 62nd pitch of the day, but only needed 4 pitches to get through the 4th inning. And it only needed 6 to get through 2 outs in the 5th. Dominic Temez, the 9th-place hitter, grounds it slowly over to Hoffman at short. On the run, he throws in time, got him. Oh, Wyatt Hoffman impresses again. 2 6-3 putouts for the University of the Pacific Swiss Army knife, and Wyatt Hoffman can do it all. Jacobs retires 3 again in the 5th inning, and his past 6 batters faced have all been retired on a grand total of 11 pitches. Jacobs forcing some weak contact with 9 groundouts already today, and at the end of 5, tied at 2 apiece, right here on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network.
47 brand HP Hood, Cape Cod Regional Transit.
Top of the 6th inning on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Brad Klein from Veterans Field, tied at 2 apiece between the Red Sox and the Anglers, and Tanner Smith, the left-handed left fielder for the Red Sox, leading off the frame against the southpaw Cy Nielsen from BYU. Came in the 4th inning, didn't record an out on the mound, actually picked off Zach Liu for the final out of that inning, but ended up allowing a run. Did his infield with Chase Luttrell taking advantage of Lou the decoy coming off of third and sliding home to score. 1 ball, no strikes on the breaking ball, and another breaking ball popped shallow center. It falls for a base hit. Tanner Smith takes an aggressive turn around first base. That's his 2nd hit of the day. A leadoff single in the top of the 6th inning for Tanner Smith.
The catcher, number 12, Dominic Keegan.
Now the shortstop, Danny Soretti, was trying to get over there to shallow center field and nearly did. Stuck out his left glove hand, and it looked like he actually had a really good shot at it. And took a very efficient path, too, just out of his reach. Here comes Dominic Keegan, who singled and scored a run in the 4th inning. First pitch, fastball right down Main Street for strike 1, already with 5 hits for Dominic Keegan. He hasn't been on the Cape very long either in 2021. Just his 3rd game. Swings and fouls it back. Tanner Smith on first base, his 3rd multi-hit game of the season. Singled in the 1st inning too, and this is a player who had been 0 for his last 11 on the road. Not the case anymore. Gaping hole on the right side of the infield with the middle infield at double play depth. And Lyle Miller-Green holding on Tanner Smith at first. And Keegan watches the changeup outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Keegan has already proven an ability to hit to all fields. Single to right field in that 4th inning. Has plenty of pull pop though. And the 1-2, taken in the dirt. Tanner Smith running on the pitch. The throw over by Temez goes into center field and backed up by Trenkle, coming in hot. But Tanner Smith slides in safely, and all of a sudden a prime RBI situation for Dominic Keegan. And that's Smith's first stolen base of the season, believe it or not. So Tanner Smith on second base with no one out, and a 2-ball, 2-strike count to Dominic Keegan, who had 2 home runs yesterday. Cy Nielsen, the lefty, comes set at the belt. Kicks and deals. Line drive up the middle into center field, a base hit. Tanner Smith will be held up at third. That's how hard that ball was hit. And it's a no-out single, putting runners on the corners for Dominic Keegan in the top of the 6th.
First baseman, number
Well, Smith
26,
had to
Cody
stay and freeze on contact because he was being held on by Danny Soretti, the shortstop, dancing behind him, trying to draw the attention of Cy Nielsen, the pitcher, and wondering if he wanted to throw over. So Smith wasn't sure if the line drive was hit right to Soretti. If he ran on to third, it could have been 2, but Soretti was actually playing off of Smith there. On the pitch, he retreated back to the shortstop hole. So Keegan now 6 for 15. Do the math and carry the 1. That's a 400 batting average for YD. And Cody Huff smacks that one. A heat-seeking missile to Caden Trenkle. That could bring home a run. On to score on the tag is Tanner Smith. And YD leads 3-2. That's the 10th sack fly of the season for the Red Sox, leading the league. And it's an RBI for Cody Huff. Dominic Keegan stays put at first, and 3-2 the Red Sox lead with Chase Luttrell, the lefty from Long Beach State, at the dish. Now sometimes you see players try to put lift on a ball with a runner on third and a lot of speed. That's not what Cody Huff tried to do there. That one was hit right on the nose. Not the first time we've seen Cody Huff hit a line drive to the wrong spot recently. Had 2 line drives yesterday, one to left field and one to short, but the problem was they were both hit to the shortstop and to the left fielder. With 1 out, Chase Luttrell waves at the breaking ball. The count is now 1-1, and Cy Nielsen giving up his first run of the day. YD scoring for the first time since the 4th, a 2 spot in that 4th inning. Infield at double play depth to a double play prone Chase Luttrell, and waves at the breaking ball again, 1-2. So 2 singles and a sac fly put YD ahead. And Chase Luttrell, who doubled and scored in the 4th, watches the breaking ball in the dirt, 2-2. So Nielsen goes to 3 straight curveballs. The first 2 were bait for Chase Luttrell, and then the 3rd, he watches, thinks better of it. Now Luttrell says he really likes Veterans Field as an atmosphere, maybe the best in the CCBL, but it's hard to see the ball under the lights in Chatham. Grounded slowly over to second, could be 2. Garcia over to second. Relay to first is in time. Chase Luttrell grounds into a 4-6-3 double play, and that retires the side. The 5th double play of the season for Chase Luttrell leads YD, but YD goes ahead 3-2. On the sac fly by Cody Huff, Tanner Smith generating a run with his legs, and in the middle of the 6th, YD is up by 1. Right here on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Bottom of the 6th inning, and the best we've seen, Zach Jacobs now nursing a 1-run lead after YD got Cody Huff to hit into a sacrifice fly, driving home Tanner Smith for the 3rd run of the day. 3-2 the Red Sox lead, and the first pitch breaking ball taken by the lefty Matt Garcia for strike 1. Well, Zach Jacobs has been ultra efficient in the past 2 frames, especially recorded 6 outs on 11 pitches total, and the curveball taken just off the plate. Count even at 1-1 now. But the key for Jacobs has been forcing weak contact. The past 5 outs recorded by Jacobs have come on the ground, and 6 of the past 7 have been ground outs as well. 2 balls and 1 strike on the changeup that misses outside to the 0-1 Garcia. 0-4-1 that is. Reached on an error in the first. And Garcia lines it to left field. Tanner Smith coming on and makes the catch on the run for the first out.
Now batting for Chatham, the right fielder from Vanderbilt. Number 5, Matt Hogan.
So Matt Hogan at the dish now, the right fielder from Vanderbilt, a senior who homered in the first inning, a 2-run shot, and struck out in the 3rd. "11 straight retired for Zach Jacobs. And the first pitch changeup outside and low. Dominic Keegan, the catcher, couldn't steal the strike on Mikey Garcia. I keep on going back to this stat. I mentioned it earlier, but it's worth repeating. Going into this game, Jacobs' watermark for most consecutive batters retired was 4. Different version of Jacobs today. 1-1 popped up. Foul ground to the left side and into the Chatham dugout. So 1-2 now to Matt Hogan. And Jacobs making his 3rd start as a Red Sox. He's just been looking for his role. Came in thinking he was going to be a starter, was originally. Gave up 7 runs over 2 innings in his debut, and from there, it's really been Zach Jacobs in limbo as the story. And now with the Red Sox and their starting rotation depleted, this start is as important as ever. 1 ball, 2 strikes as the changeup was golfed foul down the first base line. Out-of-town score update. Orleans powers past Katuitt on the road 5-1. Brewster in the top of the 8th inning leads Falmouth 6-1. And in the bottom of the 7th, it's Wareham all over Hyannis 12-1 on the road. And Zach Jacobs notches his 5th strikeout with Matt Hogan waving at the spike curveball. 12 straight retired for Zach Jacobs, 2 away in the 6th inning for Caden Trenkle, who's 0 for 3 today, or rather 0 for 2. And guess what? Both outs recorded on the ground. Now Zach Jacobs with 9 ground outs today. That's only happened once in his tenure as an NCAA pitcher. 9 ground outs at UC Riverside when he went 9 innings against Cal Baptist. That was his last appearance of the season for UC Riverside. The 1-1 taken off the plate by Caden Trenkle. 2 balls and a strike now. But we mentioned the rotation pretty depleted for the Red Sox. Domkowski was signed by the Pirates. Nick Domkowski, that is, and so many other problems in the pitching staff as a whole. Brendan Dufault leaving for the draft. And now 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. The changeup taken off the plate for ball 3. Eric Yost is scheduled to spot start for YD tomorrow. So Scott Pickler just scrambling for answers. And Zach Jacobs might just be it. No one on, 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. Payoff pitch is driven to deep right center field. Briley Knight chasing back. He makes the catch on the run for a screeching final out. Unbelievable performance for Wyatt Huffman. At the end of 6, he's now retired 13 straight anglers, and YD leads 3-2. We'll be back in a moment right here on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network.
The third baseman, number 2, Drew Bowser.
Top of the 7th inning, and YD leads Chatham 3-2. Tanner Smith came in to get the leading run, and now here to tell you about the rest is Will Connerly.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Klein. It's a 3-2 lead for YD and the top of the 7th. How about the ball game we've seen today as Chase Luttrell actually drew Bowser over into right field, leads off this frame with a base knock. Bowser, coming into this game, was hitting .333, which was the best mark on the team over the last 7 games.
Number 8, Zach Lou.
He's able to get aboard there.
Pinch hitting.
The scoring plays, well, in the 6th, YD tallied a run in the top frame of the 6th, coming off the hands of a Cody Huff sacrifice fly to center field. And YD being able to execute in those situations, they lead the league with 10 sacrifice flies. And now Crew Robinson hitting came in Zach Lou's spot, and then they moved around the infield. They put Wyatt Hoffman at shortstop and Crew Robinson at second. As Nielsen now has gone 2 1/3 and tossed 29 pitches. And facing off here against Crew Robinson after the leadoff single from Drew Bowser here in the 7th. But Zach Jacobs been the story today. He's retired 13 in a row. He looked really good in his final outing at UC Riverside, going 9 innings against Cal Baptist. And speaking of Cal Baptist, I believe a right-hander from that school getting warm for YD, CJ Culpepper, and he's proved to be one of the best relievers across the league. 6 2/3, over 6 appearances, and, well, no runs surrendered and just 2 base runners surrendered during that time. The 1-1. Swing and a miss by Crew Robinson from Nielsen. The fastball at 93 miles an hour, up and away. Robinson threw it. And now a ball and 2 strikes. Top of the 7th. YD up by 1. Drew Bowser led off the frame with a single. And Crew Robinson, the 1-2. Hits it left side over to Soretti at short. And it's going to be Bowser, the lead runner off the base paths. After the 4-3 fielder's choice, Robinson gets aboard on the ground out.
The designated hitter,
Lyle Miller
17,
Green,
Cade Hunter.
He's at first base. A 6-4 fielder's choice, rather, after Soretti flipped it over to Garcia at second. And that's been the only change throughout this defensive alignment for Chatham, is the league leader or second most home runs in the league and most strikeouts. Lyle Miller Green, one of the most interesting stat lines in the league. He's at first base now as Cade Hunter swings through the high fastball. 0-1 the count. With 1 out and 1 aboard, and now Crew Robinson at first after the fielder's choice. Cade Hunter 0 for 2 today, and at the beginning of the day was hitting 111 on the season. YD up by a run as he takes the strike. The fastball on the outside corner for strike 2. So 0-2 the count as the BYU lefty working here. And speaking of BYU, Reed McLaughlin, he's been really good this year for YD. Don't know if you're going to see his name in the back end of this bullpen as Cade Hunter swings through the fastball and is retired via the strikeout on 3 consecutive pitches.
The center fielder, number 7,
now comes to the plate. Here against the southpaw, Cy Nielsen, who's now gone 3 innings out of the bullpen, and it's been Chatham who's got decent pitching thus far. Fouled away. Victor Medeiros went 3 2/3 and surrendered 1 earned run. Nielsen has just surrendered 1 earned run as well, and it's the first time that YD has struck out today after Cade Hunter was fanned, and that should come as a surprise. YD averages over 10 strikeouts per game, but just the first time today that they have struck out. But maybe a potential victim here. A 0-2 count with 2 outs. Here to Briley Knight. Nielsen, look over at Robinson at first. Tonight, low and outside, and it is ball 1. Lights on here at Veterans Field. 8:34 p.m. and YD leading by a run. 6 hits, 3 runs for YD as the breaking ball misses low and outside from the lefty Nielsen. And just 2 runs on 2 hits. The story today has been Zach Jacobs, the right-hander out of UC Riverside, who has recorded 9 groundouts and has retired 13 Chatham hitters in a row. Chatham just with 2 hits as Briley Knight grounds it right side over to second, but it's booted at second by Garcia, and Robinson's gonna motor into third. Runners on the corners after the air. The inning extends back to the top of the order with Wyatt Hoffman.
The second baseman, number 3, Wyatt Hoffman.
Here comes Wyatt Hoffman, who's hitting a breezy 600 with runners aboard. He's got runners aboard here after the air. Inning extends to the best hitter in the league with ducks on the pond. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. A 3-2 lead for YD and a mound visit. Well, Hoffman mentioned the 600 with guys on base, but got a guy in scoring position as well, hitting .455 with runners in scoring position after the conference on the mound. Top of the 7th right now. And the inning started with Drew Bowser getting a hit. Bowser, the outstanding third baseman out of Stanford, he singled to right field. And then Crew Robinson was hitting. And he reached on the fielder's choice. Drew Bowser was out at second. Cade Hunter struck out, which was just the first strikeout of a YD batter today. And then Briley Knight was able to reach after the air from Garcia at second. Ground ball, just missed it. Hoffman, you mentioned the nearly 500 batting average with runners in scoring position. That drops to 250 though, with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. 2 outs here as Nielsen comes set. The pitch to Wyatt Hoffman upstairs. Nielsen facing off against Wyatt Hoffman, who's riding a 6-game hitting streak, but he's 0 for 3 today. Coming into today, the 6th best hitter in the league in terms of batting average as the pitch misses inside. 2 balls, no strikes. Nielsen has worked now 3 innings out of the bullpen. has recorded 9 outs in relief of Victor Medeiros, who was making his first start since opening day. As the lefty comes set, 2 balls, no strikes, runners on the corner. The pitch. Hoffman fouls it away right side, 2 balls and a strike, 2 outs, runners on first and third, Bowser at third, Crew Robinson at third after he reached on the fielder's choice to cut Bowser off the base paths. And Briley Knight, who got aboard on the E4, he's at first. 2 balls and a strike. Whitey up by a run, looking to extend their lead. The pitch. Hoffman hits it hard over to shortstop. Soretti flips it to second to Garcia, and the side is retired. Stretch time here at Veterans Field. YD leading by a run. It's 3-2 in the middle of the 7th, and we'll catch you next on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Bottom of the 7th, and enter C.J. Culpepper. After Zach Jacobs had a fantastic outing today, the ball is now in the hands of C.J. Culpepper. But how about Jacobs? 6 innings and just 2 hits allowed, with 1 earned run, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. But now the ball in the hands of YD's closer and one of their premier relief pitchers that the Cape League has seen this year. He was recently named an All-Star earlier this afternoon. One of the 5 Red Sox that was selected to the All-Star team. And C.J. Culpepper, he's just been lights out of the bullpen. Has yet to surrender a run this season as the pitch is upstairs. And speaking of surrendering runs, surrendering base runners hasn't been common for C.J. Culpepper either, but there's a base runner on board there after the hit by pitch. Just the 3rd runner he surrendered this season, and now it's his 5th outing. Culpepper now trying to work out of some trouble, and this is a similar situation to C.J. Culpepper's last outing. When he threw 2 innings at Brewster, he got 6 up, 6 down, and was scheduled to go back out for the bottom of the 9th. However, that game was cut short due to fog. He would have got those 9 outs, and that would have been the longest appearance that C.J. Culpepper has had, not only on Cape, as that last appearance of 2 innings was, but that he had all season at Cal Baptist as that ball's hit right side. Now runners on first and second. No moving over to third, and we've got runners at the corners. So all of a sudden, it's Chatham making some noise here in the bottom of the 7th. Dominic Keegan, he moved to first base. Cody Huff moved behind the plate. And it's a perfect storm for Chatham here in this inning. Lyle Miller Green, who didn't start, has 6 home runs on the season. Now hitting with runners on the corners, nobody out, bottom of the 7th. 90 feet away, the tying run, and the go-ahead run on first base against Whitey's premier reliever, him and Reed McLaughlin, one of the 2 all-stars they have out of the pen, and the right-hander trying to work out of trouble here. First offering to Lyle Miller Green. Taken for strike 1, 0-1 the count. Next offering misses low from the right-hander. Opposing batters 0 for 4 against C.J. Culpepper this season with runners in scoring position as Miller Green swings through the breaking ball from Culpepper. And Culpepper, who was a 3rd-team All-American Cal Baptist this past season, in a little bit of a pickle, but trying to get a strikeout of Lyle Miller Green. He leads the league in strikeouts. And the 1-2 from Culpepper. He got him. Green goes down swinging, and C.J. Culpepper notches the strikeout.
The third baseman from Old Dominion, number 1, Kenny Lavari.
Culpepper coming in for Jacobs. This inning started with Martin reaching on the hit by pitch. And then Jake DeLeo, who's now running at second here, could be a double play ball. Over to second, flip to short, on to first, not in time, through the glove of Keegan. He had to get off the bag. And Crew Robinson and Wyatt Hoffman couldn't turn it up the middle. Was going to be a tough turn either way. A run aboard, a run across. We're tied at 3, and the bottom of the 7th, 3-3 score. So the inning started with a hit by pitch of Martin. Garrett Martin hit by the pitch, and then Jake DeLeo ran for him over at first, and then he was the one who came across the score. Maxwell Romero Jr., he had a single. And then was cut off the base paths. After that 4-6 fielder's choice. Reed McLaughlin has surrendered a tally here in the bottom of the 7th. Whitey took the lead in the top of the 6th, the 3-2 score. But here in the bottom of the 7th, it's tied 3-3. It's Danny Soretti at the plate, the UNC Tar Heel. A ball and a strike. The first run that C.J. Culpepper has surrendered this season. The 1-1 misses outside. Soretti. Hitting .294 on the season. Switch hitter. It's much better against right-handers, hitting .400 against the righties as the pitch taken upstairs. Good on-field demeanor. A pro prospect, had 18 doubles, which was the most for the Tar Heels and 4th best in the ACC this past season, the 3-1. Upstairs, Culpepper with the free pass. And after 13 straight Chatham Anglers were retired, C.J. Culpepper came
McLennan
in,
Community
a
College.
hit by pitch,
Number 41,
single,
Dominic Temez.
strikeout, and then 4-6 fielder's choice, which scored a run. And now walk. 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. And Dominic Temez, the Alabama commit, an all-region performer at McLennan Community College, up to the plate. Runners on first and second, 2 outs. Swing and a miss, first offering from C.J. Culpepper. So Lavari is the one who's able to get the RBI on his fielder's choice, grounded it to the right side. Crew Robinson flipped to Wyatt Hoffman. Swing and a miss on the next offering from Temez. But it was DeLeo who came into pinch run, who was able to come around and score on the play. The 0-2 here from C.J. Culpepper. Misses upstairs. A ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and 2 runners aboard. Lavari, the runner at second. Danny Soretti, who walked, he's on first. And C.J. Culpepper, he comes set. A ball and 2 strikes, a 3-3 score. Bottom of the 7th. Temez at the plate, the 1-2. Upstairs, 2 balls and 2 strikes. C.J. Culpepper. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the 7th. Only 3 hits today for Chatham, but they have 3 runs, and they're tied here with YD. Swing and a miss. C.J. Culpepper gets the strikeout, but the damage is done. Chatham
$20 gift card from the Chatham
comes back to tie it in the bottom of the 7th. We're all knotted up at 3-3. We kick it over to the 8th on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Tie ball game here in the top of the 8th, and it's still the lefty Cy Nielsen on the mound. And Tanner Smith at the plate. He's 2 for 3 today. And his 3rd multi-hit performance of the season. And his first since he went 3 for 4 with 2 home runs at Red Wilson Field against Orleans. He was 2 for 29 since that game, and he's matched those hits here tonight. 1 ball, 1 strike as the lefty comes set and delivers the pitch. It's chopped slowly left side, and it's going to be Tanner Smith. 3-hit day for Tanner Smith as it dribbled down the third base line. Lavari, the third baseman, coming up to get it. Not in time, and Tanner Smith is aboard. The Oregon Duck getting on base. And Tanner Smith, a 3-hit performance for him. Dominic Keegan to the plate. And Holiday, he's going to call in some reinforcements out of the bullpen. New pitcher coming up for Chatham. We'll tell you all about him next on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Big spot here for YD.
First baseman,
Tanner
12,
Smith,
Dominic Keegan.
able to get his 3rd hit of the day. His 2nd 3-hit performance of the season. Had a big drought in between those 2 games, but 3 hits for Tanner Smith. 18 on the season for YD, but a call to the pen. Zachary Maxwell out of the pen to face Dominic Keegan. Probably a good idea. Dominic Keegan hit nearly 400 against left-handers at Vanderbilt this past season and had 15 home runs in the campaign for the Commodores, where he was the best hitter for Vandy. 1 ball, no strikes. He really punishes the left-handers, but he's no slouch against the righties as well. Had the 7th best batting average in the SEC. Here against Zachary Maxwell, though. 6'7", 275, pitcher from Georgia Tech, making his 7th appearance of the year. And yeah, you heard those dimensions right. He is a big boy out there, Maxwell. 2 saves on the season for Maxwell, including one coming in his most recent outing when he went an inning at Hyannis on the 17th. His last 2 outings, he's gone 1 inning and has not surrendered a run and has recorded a strikeout in every appearance that he has. In 6 2/3 innings, he has 15 strikeouts. And a strike there to Dominic Keegan. The count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Maxwell on the mound. Jake DeLeo now in left field. And Tanner Smith on first after he had his 3rd hit of the evening. Tie score, bottom of the 7th, and the 2-2 pitch awaits to Dominic Keegan. Keegan hits it right side. Going back on it is Hogan, and it's over the fence, foul. Dominic Keegan looked like he was just fouling that one away, and it had the distance actually to leave the yard. Down the line is 314 with the foul pole going up and then the hill in right field. But it actually went to the right of that, went over the fence in foul territory on a pitch where Dominic Keegan looked like he swung kind of with one hand, just fighting it off to the right side. So he does stay alive. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out, 1 aboard, and Tanner Smith representing the go-ahead run here in the top of the 8th. Pitch to Keegan, he strikes out. And the right-hander, Zachary Maxwell, has thrown 7 innings this season and has now 16 strikeouts. The big 6'7" right-hander from Ackworth, Georgia, pitches at Georgia Tech. And he gets the strikeout of Dominic Keegan, the first batter he sees, and now has to deal with Cody Huff. Had an RBI sac fly, his 2nd of the season. His last time at the plate to give YD the advantage 3-2, but it was Chatham last half inning who was able to tie the game. Now in the top of the 8th, Tanner Smith has 3 of YD's 7 hits. Tied here, top of the 8th, 3-3 with Chatham. Maxwell comes set. Breaking ball up and in on Cody Huff. Keegan going down via the strikeout. 1 away here in the top of the 8th. And Cody Huff started the game at first, now catching. Pitch misses low. 2 balls, no strikes. Here against the right-hander. The big 6'7" right-hander, 275 pounds. The average size of an NFL tight end is 6'3", 240. And Big Maxwell, well, he tops that by a ton. 2 balls and a strike. Saves to his credit, but it's been the strikeouts that have really been effective for him. After the K of Keegan, 16 Ks in 7 innings pitched. And out of the bullpen, that is not just going 7 straight innings, getting 16 Ks like a starting pitcher potentially could do if he's absolutely dealing. He's doing that out of the bullpen, striking out multiple guys per inning. As the right-hander comes set, 2 balls and a strike. The pitch to Cody Huff. Cody Huff hits it hard left side. Over to third, Lavari. Over to first, and Cody Huff. The 5-4-3 inning-ending double play. A masterful job by Maxwell to come out of the bullpen with a runner on first and nobody out. He strikes out Keegan, and then Cody Huff thereafter grounds into a 5-4-3 double play. In the middle of the 8th, it's tied 3-3. We go to the bottom frame next on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network.
the second baseman from Chipola College. Number 4, Matt Garcia.
The switch hitting second baseman Matt Garcia set to lead off the bottom of the 8th. We're tied 3-3. Here in the bottom of the 8th, C.J. Culpepper out for another inning of work out of the bullpen and facing off against Garcia, who's 0 for 3 today. And he watches the first off-speed pitch from Culpepper for strike 1. Chatham has left 4 runners on base all day, 2 of which came last inning when C.J. Culpepper was in some trouble. That ball over to Wyatt Hoffman at short, across the diamond to Dominic Keegan. At first, he rises, climbs the ladder, catches it for the first down. The 6-3 ground out. Wyatt Hoffman handling shortstop well. We've seen a slew of new guys over at shortstop for YD over the past few games. It started with Brooks Lee, and then Peyton Graham has played some short. He's out for the year with a finger injury. And then you've had Zach Liu, who handled himself pretty solid at short. Pascal Ferreras has played there a little bit as well. And now Wyatt Hoffman flashing the leather over at short, 1 out. That ball hit well, right side pulled, and it's down. Going to be extra bases for Matt Hogan. He's rounding first, running into second, slides, and it's a 1-out double in the 8th for Matt Hogan. Hogan with his second extra base hit. Had a home run in the first, and now a double here in the 8th. Sandwich in a couple strikeouts in there from Hogan, and he's 2 for 4. So C.J. Culpepper really was untouchable through his first 6 outings, but getting touched up a little bit by Chatham over the last 2 innings. Hogan with the extra base hit. He's aboard on second. And Caden Schrinkle to the plate. The Oklahoma State outfielder's 0 for 3 today, hitting 158 on the season at the beginning of the day. And 0 for 3 hitting here in the bottom of the 8th. In scoring position, the go-ahead run for Chatham. 1 ball, no strikes. C.J. Culpepper working here to Caden Schrinkle. Culpepper getting the signs from Cody Huff, who moved to the backstop in place of Dominic Keegan, who moved over to first base. Culpepper looks at the runner. Then it's going to be chopped to Culpepper from Schrinkle over to first. And there's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. The little dribbler back to C.J. Culpepper. He handles it cleanly, throws it to first to Keegan, and now there's 2 outs.
The fielder from Georgia Tech, number 2, Jake DeLeo.
C.J. Culpepper surrendering the double to Hogan. Now in his 7th outing, that's just the first extra base hit that the right-hander has allowed this season. Was named to the Cape Cod All-Star team earlier today, working here in a tie ball game. 3-3 score, bottom of the 8th. Hogan now at third after the ground out to C.J. Culpepper in first pitch in there for a strike. Jake DeLeo at the plate, came into pinch run for Garrett Martin, then came around to score. Paying off and then moved to left field as it's fouled away right side. Came into pinch run just last frame, when Martin led off the 7th with a hit by pitch. Reached on C.J. Culpepper. Then they put in DeLeo, who's at the plate now getting his first at-bat. The Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket takes the 0-2 pitch, now a ball and 2 strikes. Here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th, it's tied. 3 runs on 4 hits, 2 errors for Chatham today. 3 runs, 7 hits, and 1 error for YD. A ball and 2 strikes. C.J. Culpepper working here to Jake DeLeo. Against a Chatham team who struggled to find hits this season. Likewise, YD as of late. Both teams desperate for a victory, but the score deadlocked here at 3. In the bottom of the 8th, Jake DeLeo 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position and 2 outs this season. A ball and 2 strikes as the right-hander C.J. Culpepper comes set. Kicks and delivers the pitch. Hit to the right side. Tace Luttrell coming in on it, and it's a glove play made by Crew Robinson on the run. Incredible catch by Robinson as he catches it in right center field, and there's 3 outs. After 8, we're all knotted up. 3-3 score. We send it to the 9th on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Back on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network, and for YD, it's now or never. Top of the 9th, tied score, 3-3. Chase Luttrell at the plate, 1 for 3 today. And first pitch taken for strike 1 here against Maxwell, who came in last inning and just needed 10 pitches to record 3 outs. Struck out Dominic Keegan, and that guy then got Cody Huff to ground into a 5-4-3 double play. And YD looking to score a run, or they're in jeopardy of tying for their 3rd time in 4 games and a league most 7th time. If they should tie in this game, it would be the 7th time the game has ended and YD has had the same score as the other team, and it would be the 3rd time in 4 games. YD looking to change that here against Maxwell and still have their work cut out for them no matter what happens here this frame, in the bottom frame of the 9th, with CJ Culpepper on the mound, likely with no action in the bullpen. 3 balls and a strike, and the pitch to Chase Luttrell. Taken for strike 2, count runs full to the Long Beach State right fielder. Chase Luttrell was 0 for 4 yesterday. As a run scored in this game, he's 1 for 3. Luttrell swing and a miss, and he goes down swinging. Leading the team in strikeouts. A storyline this year for YD, the strikeouts, but it really hasn't been the case today. Just the 3rd YD batter to go down via the punch out in this one. As Drew Bowser comes to the plate, he's 1 for 3. YD does have 7 hits in this one. Bowser, check swing, didn't go. YD has 7 hits, but the 2 and 3 spot in the lineup has accounted for 5 hits. 3 from the 2-hitter Tanner Smith and 2 from Dominic Keegan. And Wyatt Hoffman on a 6-game hitting streak, likely to snap. He's 0 for 4. The 0-2 to Drew Bowser. Bowser is rung up on the punch out. Back-to-back strikeouts, and Maxwell's been nasty out of the bullpen. Came out to strike out Keegan. Last inning with Tanner Smith, he had his 3rd hit of the day in the 8th, but it's Holiday who makes the call to the bullpen, strikes out Keegan, gets Cody Huff to ground into a 5-4-3 double play, and now back-to-back punch-outs here in the top of the 9th, and Crew Robinson comes to the plate. 6 ties for YD. That's already a league record since the league started allowing ties in 2010. They're in jeopardy of tying for a 7th time and 3rd time in past 4 games, with the score being 3-3 with YD at the plate in the top of the 9th. Here at Veterans Field, 1 ball, 1 strike. Maxwell out of the wind. The pitch to Robinson misses outside. 2 balls and a strike. And YD in the ties, and with teams not playing the same amount of games this season, with no reschedules with rainouts, a swing and miss from Crew Robinson, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The ties really don't help, especially for a team over 500. They do ties, wins, of course, and losses, and then they do your point percentage per game. And so if you're a team below 500, well, a tie might help your percentage. But if you're a team above 500, it's not necessarily going to help, but of course better than a loss. As Crew Robinson gives a ride to this one to deep right field, back, and you can't forget about it. Crew Robinson goes yard in the top of the 9th, and YD takes the lead 4-3, down with 2 strikes, and Crew Robinson comes crashing in the top of the 9th. Forget about the baseball. YD up 4-3, his 2nd jack of the season, and the biggest one so far for YD comes in the top of the 9th here at Veterans Field. Crew Robinson with the extra base hits. The junior college All-American had 50% extra base hits this past season. All of his hits this year have gone for extra bases. 2 home runs and 2 doubles for Crew Robinson as Cade Hunter fouls it back. The ball lofted up in the air for a while, and then Crew Robinson launched it to right field and got a good piece with 2 strikes. And YD on top 4-3. Forget talking about the ties. Now your attention goes to CJ Culpepper potentially getting his 4th save of the year. Rather a win in this contest after the 96-mile-per-hour fastball is in there for strike 2. That pitch misses upstairs. Culpepper looking to get the victory here in this one. But how about Crew Robinson? Crew Robinson on a 3-2 pitch yanks a home run to right field, pulls it on a fastball, and comes through clutch. One of the newest YD Red Sox with ice in his veins in the top of the 7th, and Cade Hunter rung up on a questionable pitch to end the top of the 9th. Hunter walking back to the dugout, but not before Mr. Crew Robinson comes through clutch for YD, and they lead 4-3. The ball in the game in the hands of the right-hander CJ Culpepper. YD needs 3 outs to secure this one. Find out if they can do it next on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network.
Maxwell Romero Jr.
Maxwell Romero Jr., he's going to be leading off the bottom of the 9th. But in the bottom of the 9th, CJ Culpepper on the mound after Crew Robinson gave YD the lead in the top. First offering from Culpepper in there for strike 1. CJ Culpepper trying to dot up and spot up here with Cody Huff. He wants to get 3 outs. If YD can secure their 11th victory of the season, up by a run here in the bottom of the 9th. Pitch misses outside. Here to Maxwell Romero Jr. He's 1 for 3 today. and has 10 hits on the season. The 1-1. This is outside. Cody Huff tried to frame it in. And now 2 balls and a strike. The 91-mile-per-hour fastball from C.J. Culpepper just missed off the plate. C.J. Culpepper out of the wine, trying to get the 3-inning relief appearance. If he can record 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th, it would be his longest appearance of the season. And his longest appearance at Cal Baptist was the same, 2 1/3. Was a third-team All-American after recording 13 saves, and gets the strike for a full count now to Romero. A 4-3 lead for YD here at Veterans Field. Bottom of the 9th. 4 hits today for Chatham. And the 3-2 swing and a miss. C.J. Culpepper gets the punch out as Romero goes chasing on the high fastball.
The first baseman from Chipola College, number 13, Lyle Miller Green.
Now Lyle Miller Green to the plate. Lyle Miller Green, the rising junior headed to Oklahoma State. And he can put a jolt into a baseball. Has 6 home runs on the season. The first offering misses from C.J. Culpepper. Lyle Miller Green leads the team in home runs, RBIs, strikeouts, and walks. And all of those marks are top 4 in the league, including the most strikeouts, second most home runs and walks, and 4th most runs driven in across the league. There's a ball fouled back to the right side. A ball and a strike here to Lyle Miller Green. C.J. Culpepper working against him. Lyle Miller Green's been one of the main options as he hits that ball hard to short, but a diving play by Wyatt Hoffman, thrown over to first. Can't be scooped by Keegan, and it's Lyle Miller Green who's able to get aboard after Wyatt Hoffman dove for it and then threw it over to first. Lyle Miller Green gets aboard. Interesting play there with Wyatt Hoffman diving for the ball as there's action in YD's bullpen, and it looks like we're going to see some of it now. Scott Pickler walking out to the hill to talk with C.J. Culpepper. Here with Lyle Miller Green getting aboard. They call in a pinch runner. And no, it's Scott Pickler actually going out to talk with the umpire. C.J. Culpepper still on the mound.
Now batting for Chatham, the third baseman from Old Dominion, number 1, Kenny
actually
Lavari.
Talking to Kenny Lavari, telling him about what he saw from C.J. Culpepper as Lyle Miller Green does come off. And a pinch runner aboard, representing the tying run at first base. So 1 out. C.J. Culpepper looking for a ground ball. Bottom of the 9th, YD up by a run. Culpepper comes at the first offering. And it's swung through, but Cody Huff, ball gets behind him, throws it down to second, and not in time. So Logan Britt gets to second, who's pinch running for Lyle Miller Green, now in scoring position.
Dollar Dogs at the Snack Shack.
Logan Britt on second as Kenny Lavari having a conference. By the batter circle, comes back out, gets instructions from his manager, and now Scott Pickler is going to make a walk back out to the mound. Big situation here, bottom of the 9th at Veterans Field. A 4-3 lead for YD. C.J. Culpepper, Cody Huff, and the whole infield talking on the top of the rubber with Coach Pickler. The longest tenured manager in the league, 6-time league champion, having conversation with Culpepper about the next decision for the Red Sox with 1 out and the tying run on second base. They're going to make a call to the pen. We'll tell you about that arm coming up next on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Bottom of the 9th. You've got Kenny Lavari at the plate with a no ball, 1 strike count. It was a swinging strike from CJ Culpepper, and then Scott Pickler went to the mound. They had a long conference, and then they said, hey, Reed McLaughlin, get over here. And the BYU right-hander out of Scottsdale, Arizona, has thrown 12 2/3 scoreless ball so far this year, has yet to allow a run through 6 outings, 12 2/3, and has picked up 2 saves as well. No balls and a strike to Lavari, with the tying run in the form of Logan Britt at second base. And the first offering from McLaughlin is strike 2 here to Lavari. Mid-at-bat pitching change. That's primetime Scott Pickler. Nothing into the count. Here to Kenny Lavari, who's 0 for 3 today. Swing and a miss, and Reed McLaughlin comes in and gets the punch out. McLaughlin's been fantastic out of the pen this year, picking up his 13th strikeout out of the bullpen. And Reed McLaughlin, a Cape League All-Star named today, alongside CJ Culpepper, YD deploying the best they have to offer out of the pen, throwing everything here at Chatham. And now they're down to their final out. It's up to Danny Soretti, who's 0 for 1 today. He's got aboard twice via the free pass. And first pitch, strike 1 here to Soretti on an off-speed pitch from Reed McLaughlin. Last time he pitched 2 scoreless innings against Orleans. Opposing hitters are just 1 for 10 against Reed McLaughlin with runners in scoring position. And he didn't surrender a hit in his last outing when he went 2 scoreless at Orleans, 6 up, 6 down with 3 strikeouts. So he's been the premier reliever, one of the premier relievers in the entire league, Reed McLaughlin, trying to get the job done for YD. Scott Pickler calls on his name to get the final 2 outs here in the bottom of the 9th, the 1-1. Misses outside here to Soretti, the shortstop for Chatham today. 2 balls and a strike. 2 outs. Logan Britt, the pinch runner at second base. Reed McLaughlin coming set, getting the signs from Cody Huff, kicks and delivers. Strike 2 called outside black. 91 miles per hour, and it was spotted up right on the outside corner. Cody Huff didn't need to move his glove much as he stuck it On the outside, Black for strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Reed McLaughlin comes set. Chatham down to their final strike. The pitch, a swing and a miss, and that's a winner for YD. Reed McLaughlin gets his 3rd save, and YD improves to 11-8-6 on the year, and they win 4-3. Crew Robinson hits a home run in the top of the 9th, the 2nd consecutive day. YD hits a home run in the final inning, and Reed McLaughlin comes in to shut the door. Brad Klein, what a fantastic finish to this one.
Unbelievable. YD, we mentioned they hadn't been playing very well over their last 10 games. They come in, and Crew Robinson, the most unlikely of heroes, was playing in the Utah College League last week. Unbelievable by Crew Robinson to come up clutch for the 2nd 9th inning home run for YD in as many days.
Well, Crew Robinson, don't rain on my parade. I'm a big Crew Robinson guy, and I know a lot of YD fans starting to enjoy him as well. Big extra base hit guy. And speaking of home runs coming in crucial times, 3 of the 12 home runs of players on the active roster for YD have come in the 9th inning. So they're coming through. The 2nd consecutive day they've done so. Dominic Keegan does it yesterday, and it's Crew Robinson today. 1 to salvage a tie, and tonight to secure, not secure, but give YD a lead, and then it's secured on the mound by Reed McLaughlin next inning.
Yeah, CJ Culpepper was asked a lot of, right, to get 9 outs for a guy who's not used to necessarily doing that.
Hadn't done it all year.
Hadn't done it all year, and he came pretty close, but it was pretty clear early on he didn't have his stuff, right? But he was able to limit the damage, and Chatham just could not take advantage of CJ Culpepper when he wasn't on his game. And maybe that just speaks to the excellence of Culpepper, but when you basically have 2 closers in your bullpen, this is what happens. This is the one time, the one outlier that CJ Culpepper wasn't lights out, and you just go to your other closer. Enter Reed McLaughlin.
Enter Reed McLaughlin, and enter YD. Another win into the column for them. They now have 11 victories on the season. A final in this one. 4 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors for YD. 3 runs, 4 hits, and 2 errors for Chatham. Reed McLaughlin coming out of the pen, getting the victory. And Harwich right now, they're down 8-4 against Bourne in the top of the 9th. So YD likely to move into 2nd tomorrow against Harwich. They would both be tied at 2nd place, and that would be a nice meeting between the 2 teams who are going to crash at Red Wilson Field, barring any precipitation, tomorrow night. Trey Dombrowski on the mound, one of the premier arms in the league. YD going to see him, but they're going to be tied with Harwich tomorrow. Right now, if Harwich does lose this game, which it looks like they're going to be losing, down by 4 runs in the top of the 9th. So setting up for an intriguing matchup tomorrow night at Red Wilson Field.
You'd have to imagine that at this point, YD's feeling like challenge accepted, right? Trey Dombrowski is such a force, especially against the Red Sox. But there's something special happening here, right? The Red Sox didn't win yesterday, but they tied. And they tied with a 9th inning home run from a guy who hasn't been on the team for more than 15 minutes. And basically the same happens tonight, only this one is the winner. Something special is happening right now. And if you're YD, after winning on the road against Chatham 4-3 with a late home run from a guy who's playing in JUCO last year, you're feeling like there's no amount of Harwich Mariner, Trey Dombrowski that can stop you.
Absolutely, as Brewster wins their 5th straight. Harwich battling with Bourne right now, and YD picking up the victory thanks much to Crew Robinson and the top of the 9th. Jared Lyons gets the nod tomorrow for YD. 4 1/3 and 1 earned run out of the pen last time, and the George Mason Atlantic 10 all-conference pitcher on the mound against Dombrowski tomorrow, 5 o'clock, Red Wilson Field. We will see you there. But for now, so long from Veterans Field. YD comes out victorious in this one. 4-3, they top Chatham for the 11th victory of the season to be in 2nd in the East Division. So long from Veterans Field. For Brad Klein, I'm Will Connerly, and have a good rest of your evening.